an honor to be doing the opening remarks for this year's Social Innovation Summit. I always feel really nostalgic being back here at Stanford, especially after having spent the last 4 years in India. Makes this place feel as perfect as Disneyland. I wanted to start by going to a question that is asked of every Stanford Business School applicant. What matters to you most and why? What I wrote over 8 years ago is this. Flipping through the pages of a glossy magazine, I came across the following quotation in an advertisement for Apple. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. I felt a deep recognition as this statement crystallizes what matters to me most, taking risks, daring to dream, and turning those dreams into reality through initiative, leadership, and collaboration. As many of you know, Embrace started right here at Stanford in the Design for Extreme Affordability class. It's half engineers and half MBAs who come together to develop affordable technologies for people living on less than $1 a day. The challenge posed to my team at the time was build a baby incubator that cost less than 1% of the cost of a traditional incubator, which is $20,000. So we first came to understand the magnitude of the problem. 20 million low birth weight and premature babies are born every year around the world. 3 million babies die within the first 28 days of their life. That's 6 babies every minute. One of the biggest problems these babies face is staying warm or regulating their own body temperature. That is the primary function of a traditional incubators. But incubators are not only expensive, they require a constant supply of electricity, they require trained healthcare workers, so you're not going to find them in rural areas where many of these babies are dying. We came to quickly realize that what was needed was a solution that could work without a constant supply of electricity, that was portable, that was easy enough for a mother, a midwife, or a basically trained healthcare worker to use. And what we came up with is the Embrace Infant Warmer. Embrace Warmer looks like a little sleeping bag for an infant. The core technology is a pouch of a wax-like substance, a phase-change material, that when melted maintains a constant temperature of 98 degrees Fahrenheit, human body temperature, for up to 8 hours at a stretch, after which it can be reheated. You just place this into the pocket in the back, and it creates a warm microenvironment for the baby. Looks simple, but this has gone through hundreds of iterations as the team moved to India to test and retest and prototype to get this to be locally appropriate. In April 2011, we were finally ready to launch the product. And I still remember in those days leading up to the product launch, everything that could have possibly gone wrong went wrong. From the electricity in the manufacturing facility going out, to the wash tags on our little sleeping bags being printed completely incorrectly. But we somehow managed to get that first unit ready to send to our first customer. And then on the way to that doctor's office, we got a flat tire. So the whole team got out of the car, we piled into this auto rickshaw that you see here, and we delivered that first unit to our very first customer. And that whole experience is so symbolic to me because it represents what entrepreneurship is all about, which is doing whatever it takes to reach your goals despite any obstacles that come in your way. So we now had our first product out there, but we needed to get many more to the people in need. So one of the things we did was partner with corporations like GE Healthcare. GE is one of the global distributors for this product, and it's been great to use their brand, their credibility, and their distribution infrastructure to get more of these units out to the babies who need them. For the corporations in the audience today, I really encourage you to leverage your resources, whether that be funding, expertise, or distribution network, to partner with social innovators, both nonprofit and for-profit, to help them scale these game-changing ideas. As Chris said, to change the world, we have to all come together, NGOs, private sector, and the government. No one sector can do this on its own. In 2012, Embrace spun out a for-profit arm of the company, Embrace Innovations. Embrace, the nonprofit, continues to take philanthropy to donate our products to the poorest areas, and alongside that, accompany it with educational programs on newborn care. Embrace Innovations, the for-profit, manufactures the products, sells to the entities that can afford to pay for it, including governments and private clinics, and does research and development to create a line of affordable technologies in this space. I bring up this example because I think it's very important that we innovate not only on products and services, but on the business models that are required to take these ideas to scale. Together, we are now impacting lives all over the world, and I'll just share a couple of stories with you. This is Kirti. She is from a village in South India. Kirti, like many of the women that I meet, lost her first child and gave birth to a second premature baby girl who was kept in the warmer for about 2 weeks' time. This is the baby 3 months later. You can tell she's turned into a nice little butterball here. And when we went into this family's home, they were so excited. They had gone back and told all of the local villagers about Embrace. This next story is one of my favorite. This is baby Long. He was found abandoned at 2 pounds in China, in central China. He was rescued by an orphanage that took him in and kept him in the Embrace warmer for about 30 days. When I went to visit last September, he was 8 months old. He was happy, healthy, interactive. Thank you, and the story is about to get better. February, he turned 1, and in March, I got this email. I loved your post in February celebrating Long's first birthday. We have a pre-approval to adopt him and hope to travel to Beijing this summer to bring him home. We are so grateful for your organization and the role you played in saving Long's life. I still get very emotional every time I read this, but this is exactly what makes every day of my work worthwhile. And there Long is with his new family in Chicago. We have now helped close to 40,000 babies across 10 countries, and we hope to help many more, not only with this product, but with a line of disruptive healthcare innovations focused on mothers and infants and accompanying educational programs. So I wanted to end just by telling you about a couple of the key lessons I've learned in this journey. The first is to lead with the why. What is the fundamental value you want to create in this world? And how does that align with your own values and your own purpose? When you lead with why you do what you do, you're able to inspire others, attract the best talent, build loyal customers. The why will also get you through your toughest moments. Leadership is hard. Changing the world is hard. And there are days that I want to quit. But in those moments, I go back to why I'm doing this work, and it always serves to keep me going. My second lesson is to focus on being happy. This may seem very intuitive to some, but it wasn't to me until a couple of years ago. But I think when you do something you're really passionate about, it's easy to get entirely consumed by that and forget about yourself in the process. But it's critical to sustain yourself and to find balance, because being happy is intrinsically tied to your ability to be a good leader. In fact, there are studies out there showing that when a leader is in a good mood, the rest of the team is much more optimistic about achieving their goals and more eager to help others on their team. And my last lesson, and perhaps most important, is to be deliberate about the lens through which you see this world. When you're working on some of the toughest social challenges out there, it's easy to get jaded. It's easy to lose your optimism. Being in India over the last 4 years, I've seen some pretty traumatic things, from the despair that families go through when they lose their children, to rampant corruption in the government that leads to these deaths, to doctors who are driven by greed and who have some very unethical practices. But I refuse to let these things color the way I see the world. Instead, I choose to see the beauty all around me. In July, I went on vacation in Corsica, probably my first vacation in 5 years. No phone, no email, highly recommend it. And it was stunningly beautiful. And every time I saw something beautiful, it would remind me of the beauty that I get to see in my work every day. The selfless mothers who will do anything to save their children, no matter how poor or how impoverished they are. Those doctors out there that are truly doing this work out of the goodness of their heart. The team at Embrace that works tirelessly day in and day out to impact lives. And all the people who have come together to help this cause in some way or another. That's the beauty that I choose to see. And I hope you choose to see beauty in everything that you do, no matter how tough things get, because that will help you change the world in your own way, one baby step at a time. Thank you.